Willie D Live.
What's up, family? One of Diddy's close friends is speaking out about the time he woke up in prison with a knife pressed to his neck. Charlucci Finney says the attack went down during one of Diddy's nights while sleeping at MDC Brooklyn, an incident that first came to light during Diddy's sentencing. Sources familiar with the situation has confirmed the authenticity of the incident. Finney told Daily Mail his friend woke up with a weapon on his neck, just seconds away from serious harm or death. He says he doesn't know if the guards came to break it up or if Diddy fought off the guy. Sources familiar with the situation confirm those details. Finney imagines the inmates' intent was to intimidate Diddy, particularly in a notorious facility like MDC Brooklyn. He added, "Prison just isn't a safe place for anyone convicted of a case related to sex, and he worries about Diddy's safety." Let's stop right there. He is absolutely right. Prison is not a place where you want to be if you've been convicted of a sex crime. Prison is not a place where you want to be, period. But especially if you've committed a sex crime, because a lot of those guys use that as an opportunity to violate you. Yeah, fam. Especially if you violated children. Oh yeah, they will get you. And here's the thing, fam. Sometimes, they just, try to hurt you or kill you. But other times, they'll try to do to you what you did to your victim. Yeah, they will go there. So, yeah, that's not the type of place that a person want to be in, period, but especially if they've committed a crime against children. Diddy's lawyer, Brian Steele, actually brought that up in court back during sentencing. They were trying to get his sentence reduced, even possibly get him on home confinement. I knew that was a stretch. I knew it was pretty much no way possible. In fact, I knew the judge was going to give him time because the judge just didn't seem fair. Yeah, he just didn't seem like he was trying to be fair. And I could tell the way he was looking at Diddy the whole time, like, yeah, got you now. And when he gave Diddy that time, he was like, take that. Yeah. So, yeah, I was not impressed with the judge at all from the onset of the case. As you know, Diddy was sentenced to 50 months in federal prison after a jury convicted him of 2 counts of violating the Mann Act. He was acquitted on more serious charges of sex trafficking and racketeering. Donald Trump, your president, is considering pardoning Diddy, but the White House Communications Office has denied it. No surprise there. White House Communications Office denies a lot of things that are actually true and factual. Here's the deal, fam. If Diddy has to do any time, which I seriously doubt, he's not going to end up in a place worse than MDC. In fact, he's going to have Cadillac time. He's going to be somewhere where he can do some Cadillac time, like laid back. And they're not going to put him in some really dangerous place where, he can be harmed. He's going to go to a low-level federal facility. That's where he's going to end up at. He'll probably end up at the most, he definitely won't end up in a max, but at the most, he'll be at a minimum, a federal facility, a minimum federal facility. He definitely will not be at a max. So at best, they'll put him in a low, at worst, max, at worst, minimum, but he's not going to have to go through all of that. Trump is going to pardon Diddy, I do believe, before the end of the week. So So we got 2 more days. 2 more days. Let's see what happens. I do know this. No matter what, he gonna have to watch his back. You know, even if Diddy wasn't in prison for a sex case, he still have to watch his back because he's a celebrity. And there are dudes in prison who ain't got nothing going on. I mean, they wasn't shit when they was in the free world. They went to prison, they ain't shit in prison. And they're pretty much a nobody. So if they can get some type of points by people saying, oh, that's the dude that killed, you know. It's kind of like those mass shooters, you know, the mass murderers. You know, they're nobodies, serial killers. A lot of them dudes are nobodies. And so they try to take life from people who are somebody so that they can elevate themselves, you know, in society in some type of sick way. But they'll never be elevated because, you know, like what type of legacy is that to live? Like your legacy is that you unalived innocent people. That's what you did. You ain't getting no points for that. You're not getting any points for that. So there's a lot of dudes in prison who ain't shit, you know. Their daddy wasn't shit, his daddy before him wasn't shit, you know. Mama wasn't shit. Yeah, man, you know, gotta tell it like it is, fam. I gotta call striking the ball. So some of these dudes, you know, they try to get some type of attention, some type of notoriety off of attacking somebody with a name. It's kind of like the internet. You know, you got a whole bunch of nothing ass dudes on the internet who wake up one day and just get a channel and start just running their mouth. You know, they'll point out dudes who got names. They'll point out dudes who got a reputation for, you know, really being solid or putting in work. And their hope is that they'll never have to run into that real dude in life. Even though they get on the internet and talk really reckless, try to act like they that dude for real, they ain't got no reputation for being solid, no reputation for being real. Everybody know they're corny, but they get on the internet and talk real tough. Ain't gonna push a duck in the pond. And if they do, they'll jump in and save it. But what say you, fam? Drop a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts. No more talk.